Oh, what can you say?
Hey guys, welcome to Big Facts, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 greatest male tennis players of all time. Before we begin, be sure to subscribe our channel and press the bell icon to get notified by our latest videos. Let's begin. Number 10. Andre Agassi. Part of what is considered the golden age of American tennis, Andre Agassi was one of the standout tennis players of the 90s. Over the course of a 20-year career, he picked up an impressive 60 singles titles, including 8 Grand Slam titles. Agassi became the first player to win a Grand Slam singles title and all 3 playing surfaces, and is the only male player to achieve the career Super Slam by winning all 4 Grand Slams, the year-end championships, and an Olympic gold medal. After retiring, Andre published his autobiography Open, an autobiography which made it to number 1 on the New York Times bestseller list and is considered one of the best tennis books ever written. Number 9. John McEnroe. Perhaps best known for his You Cannot Be Serious, Wimbledon meltdown, and other antics on court, John McEnroe was one of the best tennis players of the 80s, making his debut in the world of tennis in 1977 as an 18-year-old amateur. He picked up his first Grand Slam title at the French Open mixed doubles and recorded the best performance by a qualifier at a Grand Slam after an incredible run to the Wimbledon semifinals. In 1978, he led Stanford University to an NCAA championship and won the NCAA singles title, before turning pro later that year and winning another 5 titles. He went on to win a total of 77 singles titles and 78 doubles titles, including 7 Grand Slam singles titles and 10 Grand Slam doubles titles, as well as winning the Davis Cup 5 teams representing the United States. He is one of only 3 players in the Open era to achieve the world number 1 ranking in both singles and doubles, and even holds the record for the best match record in a season, winning 96.5% of his matches in 1984. McEnroe also published his autobiography, adequately titled Serious, in 2003, which also became a best-selling book. Number 8. Ivan Lendl. A junior world number 1 before turning pro in 1978, Ivan Lendl also played a major role in tennis in the 80s. Over a 22-year career, he clinched a staggering 94 singles titles, including 8 Grand Slam titles, placing him at 3rd on the all-time titles leaderboard in the Open era. Lendl also held the world number 1 ranking for a total of 270 weeks and remains the only male player to win over 90% of matches in 5 separate years. Since retiring, he's found success in coaching, after helping Andy Murray to 3 Grand Slam titles, including Wimbledon glory back in 2013. Number 7. Jimmy Connors. Dominating tennis in the late 70s, Jimmy Connors held the world number 1 ranking for a consecutive 160 weeks from 1974 to 1977, and topped the Association of Tennis Professionals ranking for a total of 268 weeks throughout his 24-year career. In 1974, he became the 2nd player in the Open era to win 3 Grand Slams in a calendar year, though was denied entry to the French Open due to his association with World Team Tennis. He went on to win 8 Grand Slam singles titles and 2 doubles Grand Slam titles. Connors still holds the Association of Tennis Professionals record for most titles, most matches played, and most matches won in the Open era. Number 6. Bjorn Borg. A teenage sensation, Bjorn Borg's career in pro tennis started at the age of 15, representing Sweden in the Davis Cup in 1972. In 1974, just 2 weeks after his 18th birthday, he won his first Grand Slam title and became the youngest ever male French Open champion at the time. The Swede would go on to form some of the best rivalries in tennis, battling Jimmy Connors and John McEnroe for a spot at the top of the game in the late 1970s. Unfortunately, the constant pressure led him to retire from tennis at the age of 26. Over the course of his relatively short career, Borg spent a total of 109 weeks at world number 1 and won 11 Grand Slam titles. His dominance on the clay and grass courts saw him win 4 consecutive French Open titles and 5 consecutive Wimbledon titles. Number 5. Rod Laver. Adored by fans and players alike, Rod Laver is considered by many as one of the greatest tennis players of all time. In a career that started Reopen era, Laver holds the record for most titles in tennis history, having won a breathtaking 198 titles, including 6 Grand Slam titles pre-1968 and 5 Grand Slam titles during the Open era. Laver also has 6 doubles Grand Slam titles and 5 Davis Cup titles to his name and holds the record as the only player to win 10 or more titles in 7 consecutive seasons. To this day, he remains the only male player to achieve the calendar Grand Slam in the Open era, winning all 4 majors in 1969. Number 4. Pete Sampras. Considered the most successful player of the 90s, Pete Sampras held the top-ranking position for a total 286 weeks and achieved a year-end number 1 ranking for 6 consecutive years between 1993 and 1998. His dominance on the grass courts was unrivaled and saw him clinch 7 Wimbledon titles, a record later surpassed by Roger Federer. He also excelled on hard courts, picking up 2 Australian Open titles and a joint record 5 US Open titles. He sealed his pro career by winning the 2002 US Open title after defeating long-term rival Andre Agassi in the final. At the time of his retirement, Sampras had won a total of 64 singles titles, including a then-record 14 Grand Slams in total. Number 3. Rafael Nadal. One of the most successful teenagers in ATP Tour history, Rafael Nadal reached the World No. 2 ranking at the age of just 19 after picking up 16 titles, including his first French Open title in 2005. By 2008, Nadal had his hands on a 4th French Open title and clinched his first Wimbledon title when he dethroned Roger Federer in one of the greatest tennis matches in history. In the same year, he achieved the world number 1 ranking for the first time and also picked up an Olympic gold medal at the 2008 Beijing Olympics. Since then, Nadal has won a total of 88 titles, including 20 Grand Slam titles, a record shared with Novak Djokovic and Roger Federer. With a 91.5% win record on clay throughout his career, and a 105-on-3 record at Roland Garros, the Spaniard clinched a record 13th French Open title in 2020, making him the undisputed king of clay. He is also one of only 2 men to complete the career Grand Slam. Number 2. Novak Djokovic. Novak Djokovic has broken almost every record in the history books. Currently number 1 in the ATP rankings, Djokovic has held the top ranking spot for a record total of 335 weeks at the time of writing. In his 18 years on the Pro Tour, he has won a total of 85 singles titles, including a record equaling 20 Grand Slam titles, and looks the most likely player of the Big 3 to win another major title. He has a record 9 Australian Open titles to his name, as well as 6 Wimbledon titles, 3 US Open and 2 French Open titles. He's also the first and only player to complete the career Golden Masters, winning all 9 of the Masters 1000 titles at least once, and in fact holds the record for most Masters titles, having won 36 so far. In 2015 to 2016 he won the non-calendar Grand Slam and held all 4 slams at the same time. In 2020, he won his 2nd French Open title by dethroning Nadal, and became the only player in the Open era to complete the career Grand Slam twice. Playing some of the best tennis of his career and showing no signs of stopping, Novak Djokovic looks the likeliest to run away with the all-time Grand Slam titles record. Number 1. Roger Federer. Arguably the best tennis player of all time, Roger Federer has done it all. In a 23-year career spanning 4 decades, the Swiss has spent a combined 310 weeks at world number 1 and holds the longest streak at world number 1 in Open-era history, having topped the ATP rankings for a 4.5-year period from 2004 to 2008. His dominance in the 2000s saw him make 18 of 19 major finals between 2005 and 2010. He won 3 of 4 Grand Slam titles in 2004, 2006, and 2007, eventually completing his career Golden Slam in 2009 after winning the French Open. He has won a staggering 103 singles titles, the second most in the Open era behind Jimmy Connors, including a record 20 Grand Slams and a record 6 ATP Tour Finals titles. In 2017, he won a record 8th Wimbledon title and also shares the record for most US Open titles with Pete Sampras and Jimmy Connors. Federer is also a fan favorite, having won the ATP Fans Player of the Year award 18 years in a row between 2003 and 2020 in the Laureus World Sportsman of the Year award a record 5 times. There is no doubt that Roger Federer has earned his place in the history books as one of the greatest athletes of all time. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe our channel and press the bell icon to get notified by our latest videos.